Welcome to Gio's View. I'm your host, Gio Battaglia.
I'm Antonina Tortorello.
And I'm Madison Scott. For those who may not know, the New York Times reported a shooting that happened during rehearsal on the set of a new film, Rust. Alec Baldwin was on the set practicing with a prop gun, which he was told did not contain live ammunition. The gun went off, killing the cinematographer and wounding the director. The New York Times also reported that Assistant Director Dave Halls told an investigator he had not thoroughly checked the revolver. It was loaded with a live round that killed cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Investigators believe there were more live rounds on the set. What do you guys think about this situation?
So I think that a lot of people on social media were quick to blame Alec, but I think it was definitely the prop coordinator's fault. I don't know how you don't understand that there's live bullets in, or at least even if it's fragments in the gun, and ended up taking the life of a person, which is really important.
Yeah, absolutely awful. I think also too, while people were quick to blame Alec, and we should be putting the blame on the prop managers and the people that are running this film, I do hope that people still feel for Alec, because he was expecting to shoot someone with a blank that they normally put in these types of guns. I just hope that they don't discredit the guilt that Alec is going to feel for the rest of his career. This is definitely going to impact his acting career and doing future films.
Yeah, well, when I was researching this, I found a source, I think it was CNBC, they were talking about how a prop professional who was actually supposed to work on that set, he quit. He told them no because he was saying that there were safety hazards on the set, and they were combining these prop roles, which should have been their own individual jobs, but they were combining them to make into one job. And this specific prop professional was saying that he did not feel safe on set. There were other actors who actually said before this happened they did not feel safe on the set, and I guess Alec was pointing at the camera, pretending to shoot or whatever, and it just went off, and that's how it killed her. But it's crazy that how is that a prop gun? So now they're actually investigating other movies that these directors and stuff have been on set for, because there were also allegations of hazardous workplaces on those sets too. So I guess this is probably a bigger thing than what we initially thought it was.
I just think we've come so far in film and technology and stuff that this has happened 2 other times in film, and it's just crazy that it's happened in today's age. I feel like we're so cautious, and so, all these stars and companies as well are trying so hard not to get canceled, and I just think a mishap like this should not have happened.
That's what I'm saying. Our technology is so good these days. Why do we need real guns on set? And that's my thing. Why? This is not a prop gun. If it has real bullets in it, then it's not a prop gun. And when this originally happened, when I first got the notification on my phone about this, I was checking a bunch of different sources because I didn't believe it at first. And every single source made sure it said Alec Baldwin set off a prop gun, kept reinforcing over and over it was a prop gun, but clearly this is not a prop. Mm-hmm. We have the technology that you can make a prop gun look like a real gun. There's no need for real guns.
Exactly. So yeah.
It's just and now 2 people, or 1 person, because originally some sources were saying that the director died too, but this woman is dead now, and now Alec has to live with that for the rest of his life. And it's just, so I hope, the officers were saying that no criminal charges have been made yet, but they're still investigating it, and criminal charges could be made, and they said there could be some against Alec. I feel personally that there won't be. I feel like there will be charges on whoever was running the props and stuff, especially because there were actors coming forward and other members of the cast saying that they felt unsafe and said that they felt unsafe on this specific set before, and then also in other movies they have felt unsafe with these specific directors or whoever was running this. So I don't know, I guess we'll see what happens.
I'm just glad that the family of the cinematographer has been so, not forgiving of Alec, but understands the situation that happened, and Alec's been in contact with him or with the family, so Alec got lucky.
Yeah, and the investigator said that Alec has been very cooperative with them, and that everyone's been very cooperative with them, so I guess We'll have to see. We'll let you know what happens.
Joining us now is Kat to discuss our next topic. The list of nominees for the 2021 American Music Awards have been announced. Olivia Rodrigo, Taylor Swift, and BTS are some of the artists nominated. The nominations are determined by the amount of streams, sales, and airplay of a song. The awards themselves are awarded based on fan votes. Do you think this is still an accurate way to nominate artists when many artists are beginning to manipulate the charts? Maddie, we'll start with you.
I don't know, because a part of me thinks it is, but then at the same time, I don't know. Like, maybe it should be all fan votes, but at the same time, like, the streams and like the amount of plays and everything, like, that definitely plays a huge part in, and that also helps the people like running these award shows. It helps them know what the public's interested in, because you're gonna know that based off of these like views and stuff, whereas like just throwing out a bunch of random names to the public, it might be like harder to organize. So I don't know, I feel like that's a good balancing act, rather than like, I mean, with the Grammys and stuff, that's all the Recording Academy. So I like how it gives more of the public's choice, because there's so many artists that I love and that I know other people love who have never gotten Grammys. Imogen Heap, like she has an amazing discography, but so yeah, so I like that they're able to, like, they're involving the public in it, but yeah, I'm not sure. It's like a
I was actually wondering that. Do you listen to any of these artists that have been nominated, or is there anyone you feel that has been excluded? With, you know, a lot of independent people who are signed to independent labels are growing their own platform without any big fans and still getting a good amount of streams. Do you think these people are being discounted in these award shows? Kat?
Oh yeah, there's so many. I personally love Olivia Rodrigo. She has my heart. I listened to her album Sour right at the perfect time when things were going on. So really needed my girl at that time. But there are definitely, like, I go on TikTok and I see all these like artists creating these songs, and they get a lot of views, but I don't see them going anywhere beyond that. And they definitely deserve it. They 100% deserve the recognition. And I wish I could see them out there and having those views, but we just got to figure out how to get them there.
Yeah, that's a good point. To Kat's view, a lot of these views and stuff and like streams and the numbers, they're coming from TikTok. Like, a lot of these artists are getting so much recognition on their songs, like, because people keep using them over and over and over again on TikTok, not necessarily listening to the song. Because I've seen sounds out there that people take from songs just because, like, it's like a funny part of the song and it works well. Yeah, and it works well with whatever TikTok they're making, not necessarily because they like the song. So then these artists are getting a bunch of like big numbers on what they're putting out there, even though it's just for small TikToks and not necessarily because people like the song. So I definitely think that there's, like, the people who songs aren't getting out to TikTok are definitely getting left out of
It's
these.
just definitely a whole new way of listening, because
Yeah.
when have you ever been like, oh, that's an Instagram song, that's a Twitter song? Like, no, you say that's a TikTok song.
Yeah.
And that's never happened with any social media before. So I just think award shows like these haven't caught up with that yet and are still basing it off of charts, which I love looking at the
Yeah.
charts. I love seeing who has the #1 song, but I believe it's accuracy in the
So do
music
you
industry.
think that these award shows should just be doing just like public for nominees and for the winning? So like they would send out to the public a list of people and then be like, who do you want the nominees to be?
I do. I just feel like people who have strong fan bases like Taylor Swift, like BTS, would try to overwhelm the servers to make it look like it's getting that audience reception, when in actuality it is just, I feel like people would find ways to manipulate the system.
Oh yeah, always, especially with these big fan bases and how in social media. So I don't know. I guess there's really like, what do you do in this type of situation? But I guess that's probably why they're having it both, where it's like the public and then also the charts and stuff.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
It's a tough one.
Do you think it should be all something like the Grammys, where they have a recording academy?
I just think having that, I love the Grammys, I watch them every year, and I just think having that anticipation of who they're going to pick is what adds that element. And even though it might not be your favorite artist, I would love to see all artists represented
Yeah.
in many different award shows. But I think having that, and like I said, anticipation for the winner will just like up the ante, so that it's
Yeah.
not like, oh, we saw on Twitter that this fan base kind of took over and
Yeah.
ruined the fun, and we know this song is going to win when it was manipulated.
Also, another thing, I feel like sometimes if an artist has more money, that they can advertise themselves
Oh,
more
yeah.
than other people, and that's probably why more people are having public facings than others, because they have more money to do so, and it's just kind of sad. And I wish people's talents could speak for themselves and get them on that road, but sadly, money has a big part of it in it.
Exactly, I 100% agree.
Yahoo Life reports why disability activists are calling out dehumanizing Halloween costumes. They say the biggest examples of these are Nightmare on Elm Street's Freddy Krueger, Friday the 13th Jason Voorhees, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre Leatherface. While the former presented as burned, the latter two use face masks to conceal their own facial differences in addition to having mental illnesses. Do you guys think that Halloween costumes have restrictions? And have they gone too far? Or is it just the sign of times?
I know for me personally, dressing up for Halloween, I have always never really been into horror movies or anything like that, so I've never played with special effects makeup like that. But I feel like it is not going too far. I mean, we've seen a lot of makeup artists who aren't even trying to do these movie-inspired makeup looks, do special effects makeup, and they're being praised for it. So I feel like this isn't that much different. I also feel like, I know a lot of things have been okay for the past few decades, and now they're starting to be canceled. But I don't think this should be one of them.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think that, like you were saying, like special effects makeup like this has been going on for so long. I don't think that, and also it's a movie. It's a character in a movie. It's not like you're dressing up as someone who was actually like burned, like an actual burn victim who was in a traumatic incident. You're not dressing up as them. Like, this is a movie character, which people dress up as movie characters all the time. So I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. And also with like the mental illness aspect of it, I mean, dressing up as like we were saying, a character with mental illnesses like this, I don't know. People dress up as murderers all the time, like for Halloween. Like, I don't know. I really don't think that this has gone too far. Or, I mean, maybe the restrictions have gone too far. Like, people are taking that too seriously because at the end of the day, it's a horror movie. Someone made the movie. Like, if it's okay for the movie to be out there, I think it's okay for people to, like, dress up as it, but that's also in this specific instance. I don't know. There's definitely a lot of costumes out there that I think people should not be doing, but in this specific instance, dressing up as a horror villain, I feel like is fine.
I think it would be very interesting to hear from burn victims, and
Oh, yeah.
I know this came from a disability activist. I'd like to hear more people's opinions on this who have, are burn victims and have mental illness. And I think using mental illness as an argument is kind of odd because mental illness is invisible. You can't be mentally ill as...
You can't just see it. On
Yeah.
Yeah, you
someone.
can't use it as a costume. So I feel like that's not a valid argument.
Yeah, especially because, I mean, people are dressing up at, I'm trying to think of like an example of it, but I don't know. People dress up as like, let's say, like, I've done like a dead bride before, like a bride with like blood all over me and stuff like that. So are you going to say that like that person has a mental illness too? Because if it's like a bride dressing up in all blood or like killed someone, I don't know. Like, it's hard. How are you going to, then, I mean, if you're saying that you can't dress up as like these horror villains because they have mental illnesses, then like, are you not going to be able to dress up as like any villain? Because most villains played out have some type of mental illness in a way, I feel like. So I don't know.
Are you dressing up for Halloween this year, Kat?
Yes, I was planning on being a Harley Davidson biker girl.
That's cute.
Go out in the town and
Maddie?
have fun.
Well, my parents, like growing up, my family has always called me Medusa because my hair is always like super messy. So my mom really wanted me to be Medusa this year, so I think I'm gonna do that. What are you being?
I am going to be Gaga during the Joanne era, so just very stripped back, simple pink hat, white shirt, and jeans. And then I'm also going to be, I only got this costume so I can make a TikTok. I am going to be Taylor Swift during the Reputation era, and I'm really excited to put that together.
Amazing.
Yeah.
We have a new segment called Conversations with Creators. This week, I sat down with area musician Zach Eberts, whose music is inspired by her struggle, the struggle of identity and acceptance. Zach is a 17-year-old transgender woman who is very open about her life.
I've always kind of known something was a little different, but I always kind of knew that I was not like identifying as a boy with like boy things. I didn't know really what it was. I was really young too. But I looked up to people like Caitlyn Jenner. When Caitlyn Jenner came out as transgender, like that was a huge thing. That's kind of when my family started knowing, because I was really, really, really obsessed and interested in that whole storyline and everything. And like Nikki Tutorials is another person who was kind of crazy watching her come through, especially because nobody even knew that she was transgender.
Inspirations like these help distract Zach from societal shame and bullying. According to the Williams Institute School of Law, 98% of transgender people who had experienced 4 instances of discrimination and violence in the past year thought about suicide that year. 51% of them attempted suicide in that year. The discrimination towards transgender teens has grown with the use of social media as well. According to StopBullying.gov, 9 out of 10 LGBTQ+ students experienced harassment online. Zach faced harassment online and in school.
There was one comment and it was so aggressive and so, I didn't even really know what it meant. But the comment was like, if I personally buy you a rope, will you hang yourself with it? And I was like, what does that even mean? Like I am like 11 years old.
In spite of the hateful comments, Zach says she never let them impact her sense of self.
I didn't want to delete them because I didn't want the people who commented them to know that they affected me in any way. But at the same time, if I didn't delete them, they were going to continue to affect me, and I cared more about myself than what other people were thinking. And even though it was kind of hard to figure that out when I was young, everybody cares what other people think when they're young. I feel like I'm proud that I was able to work through them. And it's sad, it's really sad that there are people who are gonna come at young people for expressing their happiness, you know? But in person was worse in the sense of like school, that kind of harassment stuff was way worse because there were people I knew and people that my parents knew their parents of, and my sister went to school with their siblings. Like I was just surrounded by them and seeing them every day face to face, and I was just hearing these things. Like it was really, really, really annoying. It was bad. I was coming to school in like sweatpants and whatever every day because I didn't want to wear things I thought were cute because I was afraid. And I wasn't even publicly out to my school. I don't even know if I ever publicly came out, and I don't think I owe anybody an answer, you know? I still kind of get it. I don't really care anymore. I'm proud of myself, you know? We all should be.
Zach uses music and songwriting as an escape. She has been able to take negative thoughts about self-expression and turn it into an art form.
Well, I write music. Anytime I ever have any sort of feeling of like discomfort or anything in my own body or my own skin, I just write it down. Write it down because it's like so great to just be able to get it out. So I like that I could use music to show like not only like how I felt at this time, but like how I've grown since then. So I really utilize my like skills with writing in that aspect.
Zach encourages anyone struggling with gender identity to find an outlet that makes them feel liberated.
Everybody has different struggles, and I think we can all relate every single struggle in the world to each other because it's in a sense where like no one's ever alone, you know? So don't be afraid to reach out. I was really, really unhappy with myself and the way that I looked. 2021 has really just completely changed. Like people who know me have known that I've changed myself a lot, and I think my mental health has been way, way, way better since then because I'm not like trying to fit into a certain like group of people, but I'm getting there. I'm growing. I'm feeling a lot better in my own skin.
raindrops fall, and the beauty of it all is when the sun comes shining through to make those rainbows in my mind. When I think of you sometime, and I wanna spend some time with you, just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us.
You can follow Zach on YouTube at www.youtube.com/ZachEberts. We thank you for watching this edition of Conversations with Creators on Geo's View. I'm Gio Battaglia. Until next time, thank you for watching.
Bye.
Bye.